One day, this guy goes out to the curb to collect his empty trash bins. And as he's wheeling his bins back, he notices the recycling bin is heavier than normal. So he turns it over and he dumps it out, and he finds a human foot. Now, the foot, unfortunately, belongs to this woman. Her name's Ingrid. And Ingrid is very nice. She's a single mom, 3 kids, and one day she meets someone on a dating app, this guy, John, and they talk for about a month, and then they go on a date. That date goes smoothly, and soon enough, they're going on 3, 4 dates a week. And it seems like things are going pretty well. But John is always staying over at Ingrid's place. And after dating for about a month or so, Ingrid comes to the realization that John is always staying at her place because he doesn't have a place of his own. He's allegedly homeless. He also doesn't have a steady job either. But Ingrid doesn't seem to mind. I don't know, maybe this is just a casual fling for her. But one night she sends her kids with her ex-husband so that she can go out on a date with John. And she drives and she picks him up, and they go see a baseball game when they have a good time and they're drinking a lot. And they make it back to Ingrid's house. And that is where things go horribly wrong because fast forward to the next morning and Ingrid's ex-husband comes over to her house because he's going to drop the kids back off. And he knocks on her door, but no one answers. He calls, he texts, still no answer. Then he notices her car's not even there. So ex-husband starts to worry. So he calls Ingrid's mom, and Ingrid's mom rushes over. She has a spare key, so they go inside and Ingrid's not there, but her phone and her wallet are. And weirdly, the place smells like bleach. Not to mention, there's a pruning saw in the bathroom for some reason. So Ingrid's mom is now worried. She calls the police, and the police start looking into it. Now, Ingrid and her mom actually share a Horizon account. So mom checks Ingrid's phone records, and she sees a phone number coming up a lot. She looks the number up, and that number is connected to a Facebook account, John's Facebook account. So mom starts texting this number, "Hey, Ingrid's missing. Have you seen her?" And John replies, "We went to a baseball game, and after that I left. I didn't stay the night." And then mom is texting him 1,000 more follow-up questions, but John stops replying. He just completely goes, "Sir." So no one knows what happened to Ingrid. There's no trace of her. And John isn't being very helpful until around the time mom is texting John, this poor guy's at home. We'll just call him Guy. And Guy's at home, and he walks out to the curb to collect his empty trash bins, and as he's wheeling them back, he notices his recycling bin is heavier than normal. So he turns it over and he dumps it out, and he finds 3 plastic bags. In those plastic bags are human parts, a head, a foot, an arm. So he's weirded out. He reports it to police, and police show up, and they identify the body, of course, as Ingrid. Then they also find other parts of her in other locations around the city. And they also find Ingrid's car downtown abandoned. Now, John, he was the last one seen with Ingrid. So police bring him in and they question him, and of course, he says, "I have no idea what happened to Ingrid." Now, this is one of those stories where we actually know what really happened to Ingrid, but we don't know why it happened, and we don't know the details. So here's what we know. John and Ingrid go on a date to go see a baseball game. They have a good time. They're drinking a lot, and they make it back to Ingrid's house. And now the two are at Ingrid's house alone, and for some reason John suddenly snaps and he gets violent, really violent, and he attacks Ingrid and he strangles her to death. And then he drags her over and he puts her in the bathtub. Then he uses a pruning saw to dice her into smaller parts. Then he steals her car and he drives around and he dumps all the parts of her in various places around the city, including Guy's recycling bin. So eventually, luckily, police arrest John, tears his mugshot, and he ultimately pleads guilty. And he admits that it was him who unalived her, and he's sentenced to a little under 28 years in prison. And to this day, we still have no idea why John just suddenly decided to do this.